Subscribe and comment to enter Chalkola's giveaway from May 1st through May 15th, 2020. Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a really fun new product to share with you. This is a chalkboard. It's a stand-up style chalkboard and some chalk markers from Chalkola. Now, if you've tried chalk markers before, then you are familiar with the fact that they are able to be used on many different surfaces. I've never tried any kind of chalk markers before, so this is my first time. When opening the package, I noticed that everything is wrapped very nice and securely, and there is a fun invitation to share just from Chalkola. Once I remove the bubble wrap and take a look at this marquee, I'm going to call it a marquee sign, then I notice that it's really put together well. And it's small enough that I think I can feature this in my home without it taking over too much space, which is really cool. So the thing about the markers is that you have to prime them all before you use them. First, give them a really, really good shake, and you can feel that there is a fluid inside that's moving around. Once you depress the nib, and you can feel it going inside the marker, then you have primed the marker and it's ready to be used. I used a piece of printer paper just to make sure that I didn't get anything on my work surface, and it was not a problem at all. So I grabbed enough colors to build a rainbow. Of course, I built a rainbow, and this is kind of like a test run. I like the fact that I can put the marker top on the back end of the marker, and it's not going to float around. I think that will help my kids, if they use this product, to be able to kind of have a good balance. Both of my children are special needs, and they have issues with their hands and dexterity. So I can tell that putting down the markers, each marker does not always act exactly the same, but they act the same enough in a respect that I know what to expect from each one of the markers that are in this product showcase. I like that this neon yellow color is got a lot more coverage and it's a lot more opaque, meaning that it's not as see-through. And I even put some of the colors right up next to each other, like this green and yellow. And I noticed that whenever I allowed them to touch, that they kind of mixed together on the surface before they dried, which is really cool. It could be really cool effects, kind of like how we do watercoloring. But I would suggest that you allow enough few seconds for the marker color to dry before you move on and add something else right up against it. Once it's dry, then I don't see that there's going to be any mixing or bleeding at all. I really like the colors in this set, and I have to say that it kind of reminds me of a box of crayons where I can just go in and find the right color and doodle, and that's what I started doing once I got the rainbow built together. I just decided that I'm going to doodle around, and I'm not the best doodler or the best, artist to draw things on my own, but it's enough to where I can recognize the object, and I think my kids will too. So little clouds and hearts are something that is very easy and that I'm comfortable with. And I can even tell that I'm going to mix some colors here. And that was fun. That was a fun effect. So I can see that there's lots of different ways that I can use these chalk markers to be able to have a really, really fun look. So let's try some letters. I see some marquees at restaurants and businesses that have this chalkboard look, and And I'm guessing that they use something that's much the same as far as how the chalk markers work in order to get the look on the chalkboard. And it's really easy to write with them. Just it's like a Sharpie. It's about the size of a Sharpie marker, the large one. And I don't have a problem writing with that. And the nib doesn't lose control. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. So I just decided to just kind of take it out for a test ride, and you can see here that it dries fairly quickly, and the chalk does come off on your fingers if you rub your fingers on it enough. And so you want to make sure that you put this in an area to where if very young children are going to, smudge your work, then you want to be mindful. So let's have a look at how this cleans up. You can see that I rubbed just a dry cloth first, and it kind of smudges around, and it does remove the chalk marker. But if you really want an absolutely clean surface, then just use a wet paper towel instead of just a paper towel. The instructions say to use glass cleaner, so I grabbed my glass cleaner and just decided, okay, I'm going to see how this works. I hated to take away the rainbow, though. I can see that that's going to be something that's fun, is that I can feature something on this marquee for my kids and maybe let them do some doodling, and we're going to know that it cleans up perfectly well. I mean, look at it. There is no chalk marker left behind at all. Not a bit. And so this is a really good canvas to be able to showcase kids' art or anything. So I'm going to try another doodle here, and I noticed that I had a little bowl I used for paper scraps and things. So I grabbed it to try to get a better circle, and it occurred to me that since you can put chalk marker on other surfaces, maybe I better clean it off that bowl or else it would have stayed there until I got the glass cleaner after it. And you could tell probably that this is going to be sunshine. And so I just grabbed a couple of the different yellows that I had already had primed. And if it hasn't been primed, like this one I grabbed, you can see that it doesn't take too long to prime it. The video is sped up to double time, so I haven't sped it up to 500 or anything. So it's double time. You can see that it only takes about a minute in order to get that ink flowing through an unprimed marker. I'm going to do a sunshine with a happy face and just kind of play around. And I like how I can color back over the chalk marker area and it kind of fills it in. But then again, it looks okay if I just do it by itself. It's fun. It's fun to play with. So I'm not a kid, obviously. And I think it's just fun. And this is something that I would have really had a fantastic time using as a what is the term that we use now, as a tween. This would have been right up my alley when I was like 11, 12 years old. Then this would have been my obsession. But as an adult, I can say now that this is something that my kids will really have a good time with. So here's how I featured it on my kitchen counter. And I hope you enjoy checking out Chalkola.